I'd like to pick up where my friend from Maryland left off. They don't deserve to be deified, but they don't deserve to be demonized either. That doesn't just apply to our federal workforce. That applies to so many elements of our conversation today. I hope you have a chance, Mr. Speaker, to go and watch the Rules Committee debate last night on this rule. You might have thought that a simple two-page resolution such as this one, we might have been up and out in about 10 minutes making 3 amendments in order, but no. We spent the better part of almost 3 hours there talking with the committee experts on the issue, Mr. Connolly from Virginia, Mr. Meadows from North Carolina, and you would be affected by the amount of agreement that those 2 gentlemen had. Now, I don't want to say you'd be surprised, because you might know those 2 gentlemen as I do, you might know this issue as I do, and you might know its bipartisan roots and its bipartisan future as I do. But if you don't watch that hearing, if you don't know the issue, if all you do is see a bill that was dropped in the hopper just a couple of days ago, has had no markup in committee, has had no hearings, has had no witnesses, has had no dialogue whatsoever on it, but happened to be dropped in the middle of a week where some of the more cynical among us expected us to still be in a government shutdown before the president brought us out of it. This might just look like a messaging statement to folks who view it through that lens. And it's so frustrating and disappointing to me, because this is an issue on which we agree. My friend from Oklahoma, an appropriator, happens to be the ranking member up on the Rules Committee, and in testimony last night, we're talking about not an insignificant amount of money in this bill. We're talking about not millions with an M, we're talking about billions with a B of dollars going out the door. And the question is, where do the dollars come from? And the answer is, well, they're just going to come from other accounts these agencies already have. Well, I don't know what other account that is, and I think that's worth having a conversation about. If you read through this language, Mr. Speaker, you'll see no effort whatsoever to do what every single one of us knows needs to be done. And that's to find those federal employees who make us proud at agencies every single day, reward that service, protect that service, encourage that service, make sure retention plans are in place for those employees. Not a line in here to target those high performers. Equally, look through this legislation, Mr. Speaker, to find those folks who I know, because I hear it from my veterans in my district every day, I hear it from the leadership in the VA every day. Find those folks that just do not want to show up and serve. Somehow they got involved in federal service. They're the exception, not the rule. They bring their colleagues in federal service down instead of lifting them up. They bring the folks they're intended to serve down instead of lifting them up. There is no effort to identify those folks. No effort to reward the high performers while trying to train up the low performers in true government fashion. It says the definition of success is to treat absolutely everybody the same. Mr. Speaker, there's no one else doing this work other than us. The problem in the civil service system isn't that we protect employees. That's laud-worthy. That's a laudable goal. The problem is in civil service is we're the only ones who do the oversight. There is no other board of directors. It's us. And yet we bring a bill to the floor that we claim raises our federal employees up, praises our federal employees. We didn't even give it the dignity of a hearing or a markup. We can do better than that, and candidly, I think we will. I think we will. We'll never know what would have happened had we not gotten started on the foot we got started on in January as we did. And I particularly regret that for our freshmen who are trying to figure out what the tone and tenor is of this place. This isn't it. This isn't it. Candidly, Republicans got into some bad habits at the end of the last session of just dropping bills in the hopper and bringing them to the floor the next day. No hearings, no markup. It was wrong then, and it's not wise now either. We have a lot of choices to make going forward, Mr. Speaker. Are we poisoning the well, or are we protecting it? Are we tilling the fields, or are we spreading salt in them? We don't need to deify our ideological opponents, but we don't need to demonize them either. There's more that unites this country than that divides this country, Mr. Speaker. Our federal employees do deserve our trust, our appreciation, and yes, a paycheck at the end of the week for the work that they have done on our behalf. They also deserve a way to be recognized when they go above and beyond. They also deserve to know that folks in their team who are not up to the task today are either going to be trained up or moved out. We can do those things together. For reasons that are not clear to me, we've not chosen to try.